In this video, I'm going to talk about select by attribute, or we also call them queries. Select by attributes, um, as you can see from its name, will use the attributes to create a selection. I'm going to open the select by attribute window. Um, Here, I can say what my input layer is. So I have multiple layers here. I can choose from which layer I'm going to select from. I'm going to select from my block groups, and then I can say I want to create a new selection. As you can see, these are also some familiar methods to you. Um, for example, if you have an existing selection, you can add to that, or you can remove from that. I'm going with a new selection, and now I can create an expression. For this expression, I'm going to say create a new one. Now we can use the fields or attributes of our layer to select a collection of features. I'm going to use median household income. Um, Here is median household income, um, and I'm going to choose one of these. So if I say it's equal to, let's say 50,000, if we have a block group that the median household income is exactly 50,000, you're going to find that. In this case, I think I have one selection, and I can also open my attribute table here a little bit smaller, and then I can go through this one and see what exactly the median household income is, or other variables of this layer. So this is very helpful to identify a specific number, but often for continuous variables such as income, area, distance, we want to use less than or greater than. For example, if I say is greater than 50,000, then all those block groups that their median income is greater than um, 50 will be selected. As you can see, these are all over 50. How about if I say is less than? Um, these are those block groups that their median household income is less than 50K. You have the option to say is greater than or equal to. So that 50,000, exact 50,000 will be included in this case. So be careful if you need to include that upper bound or lower bound, you are using or equal to option. You have other things here like is not equal to. So if I say 50,000, basically everything is selected except that single block group over there. The interesting thing is that I can always go back and switch, and I can see that one block group now is exactly $50,000 as the median income. So is not equal to also, is it just a specific value over there? The other ones, I think, um, if we had null values, you could use is null, but in this layer we don't have null values, so that doesn't work. You can also add more clauses here. And for example, this is the first one. I can add the second one and say, if this is greater than, so median household income is greater than $50,000. Now I can say also, and median household income less than um, $80,000. So this will create a range for you, and we'll select all those block groups. Let's just have a little bit narrower range, okay? That their income, median household income is between 50 and 60, and you can see those are the block groups in that range. Be careful if you are using OR, um, then everything less than 60,000 will be um, selected, regardless of the first clause, because we know that for OR, if the first phrase is true, the second also is false, the result is still going to be true. So if you are using or and, be careful how they work. They are very different. You can add another clause and say also among these ones that are selected, because I'm using and, I want to select those ones that their population is, let's go with something else. Um, their median housing value um, is greater than, let's say, 800,000. So these block groups, 74 of them to be exact, are meeting all these three conditions. Um, their income is greater than 50, is less than 60, and their median housing value is greater than 800. You can add more clauses here, but be careful, that becomes very complicated. Um, and the other way is, I'm removing that one. You create a selection with median household income greater than 50 and less than 60. And then now I have a selection. And I can go and say, and then select a subset of this current selection. From these selected features, select those ones that their, we said median housing value is greater than 800,000. That does the same thing. Um, again, 74. Um, it is just a slightly different method, but does the same thing. So you can use the combination of and or to combine these phrases, the conditions, or you can use add to current selection, remove from the current selection, select from the current selection, or switch the selection. Uh, the other way to switch in the selection also is here, so you can simply, if I close this one, you can simply switch the selection from the table view here. These are your selection. Whatever you do on this layer, in terms of calculating a field, running a tool, will only run on the selected features. So it is very clear. After all, every selection, if you are done with it, make sure that you clear your selection and move to the next step.